What's up, cool people? My name's Matt. Welcome back to our Bible study. Alright. So now we're looking at Joshua chapter 20. Promised land has been all divided up and everything like that. And, yeah. I guess the cities of refuge need to be established now because obviously they couldn't decide on the cities of refuge before figuring out the allotments of land. So, and I guess context, I don't know if it'll... Okay, it looks like it's going to explain a little bit of what the cities of refuge mean, so I'm not going to give my own summary of what there was before. So we'll just hop right in here. Joshua chapter 20. The Lord said to Joshua, "Now tell the Israelites to designate the cities of refuge, as I instructed Moses. Anyone who kills another person accidentally and unintentionally can run to one of these cities. They will be places of refuge from relatives seeking revenge for the person who was killed." So there's kind of your brief summary explanation of what these cities of refuge were for. Basically, you accidentally kill someone, you could go to one of these cities and not be, fearful of getting, of other people getting revenge. There was a bit of a process related to that, but it might cover that a little bit as well, so I don't want to get into that until we read further. Okay, verse 4. Upon reaching one of these cities, the one who caused the death will appear before the elders at the city gate and present his case. They must allow him to enter the city and give him a place to live among them. If the relatives of the victim come to avenge the killing, the leaders must not release the slayer to them, for he killed the other person unintentionally and without previous hostility. But the slayer must stay in that city and be tried by the local assembly, which will render a judgment. And he must continue to live in that city until the death of the high priest who was in office at the time of the accident. After that, he is free to return to his own home in the town from which he fled. So, further explanation on what the cities of refuge were about and how that all worked. So, I wonder if there is a possibility, because it mentions, the killer presenting his case to the elders at the city gate. Like, if they think it's real obvious that the dude did it on purpose, can they refuse to see him there? But it says they must allow him to enter. It doesn't say that if they decide it's intentional, that they, can dismiss him or anything like that. It says they must allow. So I guess it's one of those things where now, Slayer must stay in that city and be tried by the local assembly. So, local to the city of refuge? Or local to where he's fleeing from? I'm not real sure on that. The wording makes that not 100% clear. But, in any case, so they could flee to the city of refuge, stay there. There would be the equivalent of a court hearing. And if it's established that, they're innocent, that it was an accident, basically, they would still have to live within the city of refuge until the death of the high priest. That was sort of the statute of limitations. And then after that, they could return home, I guess. But it says he's free to, not that he must. But that would be like, kind of ancestral land that he would have fled from. So, odds are he would want to go back. And it doesn't say anything about if the slayer is judged guilty and that it was not an accident. I assume then they would just, follow up on whatever punishment is fitting. On to verse 7, and I guess we'll wrap up the chapter since this is the last paragraph here. Following cities were designated as cities of refuge: Kadesh of Galilee in the hill country of Naphtali, Shechem in the hill country of Ephraim, and Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron, in the hill country of Judah. On the east side of the Jordan River, across from Jericho, the following cities were designated: Bezer in the wilderness plain of the tribe of Reuben, Ramoth in Gilead in the territory of the tribe of Gad, and Golan in Bashan in the land of the tribe of Manasseh. These cities were set apart for all the Israelites, as well as the foreigners living among them. Anyone who accidentally killed another person could take refuge in one of these cities. In this way, they could escape being killed in revenge prior to standing trial before the local assembly. So, for some reason I thought there would be more cities of refuge than this, but, so you've got one in Naphtali's territory, one in Ephraim, one in Judah, and that's what they had west of the Jordan River. Then east of it, there was one for basically each tribe that settled east of the Jordan River. So, anyway, like I said, explanations were all kind of included in this chapter as to what the cities of refuge were, so I don't know if I really need to go into too much more detail on all that. Alright, so I guess this was the next logical thing to establish, since all the land was divided up in the promised land amongst the various tribes. Then, and only then, could they, establish the cities of refuge. Because they couldn't do it before the land was divided up. So, yeah, now it really has me wondering what else is going to be in this chapter, because I don't know of any other, establishment of land or certain cities or anything like that that is left to do. So, I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, as always, like and share if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel and click the bell if you're on YouTube to get updates when I post new videos. If you're seeing this over on Rumble, give me a follow there, and it should serve roughly the same purpose. Whichever platform you're watching this on, take a look down in the description to get info on other social media pages and all that good stuff. And leave comments down below there with any thoughts you have, whether it's Bible study related, whether it's video ideas, games you might want me to play, whatever you have for me. Let me know down below. So, that's all for now. Hope you're all doing well. Hopefully I'll see you soon for another video. But whatever the case is, till next time, stay cool, people.